Welcome to Inside Vibes. Your host for tonight's show is none other than the glamour girl of comedy from Louisville, Kentucky, Kim Vaughn.
Hey, family, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight is going to be a great show. I'm glad you are here with me. Everyone at home, I'm glad you stayed up for me. And we're just going to make it do what it do. We have a dynamic group. When I tell you, God is good. So in my dream of being here and your dream of having some good late night TV, look at him. Didn't he do it? So without any further ado, I've got family here, and we are family, hey. Yeah. See, so, oh my goodness. Most people tonight have a lot of more sense than I do. Their brain cells and their missions and what they believe in is going to blow me and you away. But the biggest thing to let everybody know, because we're all gifted, and these people walked into theirs like somebody in the audience. Y'all walking into y'all's. So without any further ado, are you ready for my first guest today? Wait. Let me stop. Because we're a family. So are you ready for our first guest? Yeah. All right. Now, without any further ado, let me tell you a little bit about this gentleman. This gentleman answered the calling of tailoring. So he has his own clothing line, and he is from Nigeria. And his dream and his clothing and visions are now all across the world as guys feel good and confident and fine in his clothing. So without any further ado, I want to introduce you to Okwe, and leader, developer, and creator of the Fantasia clothing line. Everyone give a hand. Hello. Yes. Hi, Angel. How you doing? Have a seat. You get the cozy orange chair. That's the $1 million chair. So I know, what is this velvet?
It's really worth $1 million.
So how are you doing?
I'm great, and you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us.
And you have a wonderful audience.
Yes, this is my family. That's my cousins, my aunties. So, how did this immaculate legacy begin?
Wow, it's a tall task, but I will start wherever I can. You know what the Bible says about do not despise the day of the little beginnings?
Yes.
Everyone has a little beginning. Everyone has his or her own Bethlehem, where they all started from. You know, our Lord Jesus started from Bethlehem.
Yeah.
It was a very humbling experience for him, but he rose to become the Lord over everyone. So when I left school, my master's program from University of Nigeria. In Nigeria, there were no jobs. You know, you may not know how Africa is, but it's a very challenging place with a lot of unemployment. So I looked inside what I could do, and there was nothing that came to my mind then to jump into the business world. So I started off with telecoms. I did that for like 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And ran out of ideas and ran into a brick wall, and the business failed. But I've always had passion for interior decor, fashion, and gospel music.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I looked at the three of them, and I said to myself, which one will be a commercial success for now? And actually, I didn't go into clothing because of the passion initially. I went into it because of to survive. It was a survival
much,
mode.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I just got into it, and I started it with my wife. She had left school then, and we teamed together to begin it. It was a very humbling experience because we were in a very little place with just one worker, and we kept on and we kept on.
Wow.
We passed through a lot of stress, it's a long journey. But today,
Yes.
when I look at the past, I can say that God has been very, very faithful.
Yes.
you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that I think is the common denominator with not only my guest, my family here, as well as television. There is a common denominator amongst all of us as believers. And even though some of us may not even know we're believers, it is the common denominator of wanting something greater in order to help us.
Good.
So, wow. So, okay. So, we're what, 5 years, 10 years? You and the better half getting the business together. How long did it take really for even this to take off with you all?
Oh, the business is almost 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, it started in 2006. So 2026 will make it 20 years.
So, when did you first begin to see the fruits of your labor?
It took like 3 years. You know, what I tell people is whatever your passion is, whatever you've set your heart to do, the first thing to do is when you get a direction from God, it's very, very important to have a direction from God. Because when you run into a brick wall, you will look back to God and say, but I told you about this journey and you sanctioned it. He's going to provide another means for you, another way. So that's the first one. The second one is you can never have a perfect scenario. After praying, after doing your feasibility, you just have to plunge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
the jump.
if you don't plunge, by next year you would have loved to have started. 1 year gone. So we just started, and the first 3 years was very, very challenging.
Oh, I can imagine.
Extremely challenging. We had a problem of electricity. Nigeria, we always have problem with electricity. But I mean, people full of vibes, but no electricity. So we had to sort that out. We had to sort the problem of staff. We had to sort the problem of policies and all that. But through it all, because we made up our mind to succeed, there were really, really rough times that we wanted to give up. But what we do is, when such times come, we just go back, take a break, and then come back to it.
Was it hard to work with a spouse?
It was
Come
pretty
on.
challenging. It was pretty challenging at first, but later we had to blend together to. That's a beauty about working with your spouse. Let me tell you one secret about working with your spouse. You can't go to bed with an argument. Because when you wake up in the morning, you people will have to still talk,
Yeah.
blend
Yeah.
to face the customers.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you have to forgive yourself in the night for the next day to be a proper day. So it's helped us all these years in business that every day we talk, we mend, we start off all over again to face the future.
So where is Fantasia now?
Fantasia-
Have we what countries have we graced the
We are not that too famous yet.
Oh, of course you are. You're in America and this is fine. That's pretty
We're
nice.
believing God for big things. Okay, we started off in a locality that's in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the New York of Africa.
Uh-huh.
You know, whatever you do in Nigeria, whatever you do in Africa, you're not in Lagos, you've not started.
Yes.
Lagos is the place.
Yes.
So it's full of people with so much vibe and so much experience. And I mean, the fashion ecosystem works better in Lagos than any other place in Africa. Whether Egypt, whether
Okay.
Cairo, whether South Africa, whether Dakar, whether Ghana, wherever it is. If you've not connected with Lagos, you are not there yet.
Wow.
Yes. Just like, you know, Nigerian music, the Afrobeat, Nigerian clothing, Nigerian jollof, everything about Nigeria is really popping. So that's it. So we started in Lagos, and that was a leverage for me. So it enabled me moving to other West African markets and African markets. We're in South Africa. I have customers in South Africa, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in
wow.
Tanzania, in Zambia, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Ghana, in Togo. I mean, so many, more than 20 African countries.
Oh wow. Look,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
You know.
Seriously.
So with the kind of patronage we've been getting from African countries, we've been trying to see how we can synergize with clothing brands and clothing stores there to try to do bigger things. But what we have right now are individuals who patronize us, and also we have customers also in the American market. There are a lot of clients here, big clients.
I am so happy for
so
you.
that's how far God has brought us, and we're still going further than this. Yeah, we're
Without a
sure
doubt.
with God we're going places.
Without a doubt. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, I do know. I do know. Oh, see, all right, I'm gonna have to call him. Him is one. I promise you. I know they just did Fashion Week. I was there clapping and crying. I do. It's so big. I'm just
Yeah.
really, really excited. How right now can we find you support? And even patronize. Do we do customs? Are there things that are they available for consultation? How do you accommodate them right now?
Okay, we're just trying to build a system with the North American market. Regularly I come, I visit clients, I visit clothing stores, trying to put up something that is workable, even with with UPS or DHL, because the factory is back home in Nigeria. So what we do for now is when we ship to the customer directly to the doorstep. But we're trying to build something more robust. And once it's set, we'll let you know the plan.
I like that.
Yes.
We all want to feel that we are just being only me, and so leisure suits. Do we do evening and elegant? What do we focus in on the man? Business, the mind, body, and the soul. How is that interpreted into your clothing?
Okay, like I said, my clothing line is for men. That's it. And there's this stereotype about Africa that most of the clothing that come from Africa are like multicolored and bright color and all that. Yes, we have a lot of bright color in Africa because Africa is full of color. Africa is full of color. But we also have a blend, a mix between the African, the Western, the Orient world, and all that. My brand, the core of my business is the corporate meal. This suit people wear every day. You wear your suit, you wear your tie, you wear your shirt. We thought about it and said, is there any other way a man can be corporate and be more comfortable without having to go through the torch shirt, the tie, and all that? That's how we came out with what I'm wearing. Like you can see, I'm like fully dressed for business.
Yes.
So we have them in colors and sober colors, black, navy blue, coffee brown, and all the colors. So what most people in Africa wear now for work is something like what I'm wearing. The wear with the pocket square, with the fillers, and you're ready for work. So it's basically my brand. But I do other things like vintage shirts.
Okay.
I do pants. I do shirts. I do company clothes.
Okay.
I do so many things, but for the men. I do blazers and so many. But the core of the business is the corporate native. We call it corporate native in Africa, corporate kaftans, that you can wear Monday to Sunday for church pastors,
I
for
was gonna say,
businessmen,
yes.
for governors, for celebrities, for sports stars, everybody. When you're coming out in the evening, we have something for you. When you're going for a meeting, we have something for you. When you're having party with your friends, we have something for you, just for the total man.
I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Okay, now I've got to. What is something that you, as I see and hear, you had ups and downs and dynamic pieces. Look, everything wants to drop. What is one of the funniest occasions through all of this? What is one of the saddest? What almost said, God, I just.
Let me start with one of the experiences that was very, very humbling. When I started and I wanted to create carve a niche for myself, Lagos, like I said, is full of sharks. The fashion world is like sharks and crocodiles.
Yeah.
It's a very dynamic world. The ecosystem is very, 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 very volatile. So breaking into Lagos, you may not know, in Lagos is so fashionable that I don't think any other city comes close, even New York. Or maybe because you guys on the bigger stage. That's why people, if you come to Lagos, you will see thousands of fashion designers, thousands of garment manufacturers like me, thousands of fashionpreneurs. You will see people who use their backyards, who use their garage to create beautiful pieces. I hope you know that the costliest suit worn by somebody in this world, £1,000,000, was done by a Nigerian in Britain. I hope you know that so many other big brands who are like taking over the world stage started from Africa. So it was very difficult breaking through that initial 2-3 years. I remember one day I went to see a customer, and I had gone in and he had been in a meeting. I had gone round like 3-4 hours, I was so exhausted. I came to the lounge to wait for him, and I bent my head. I saw an old man there. I don't know him. I never knew him before. I never saw him. He just moved up to me, tapped me on the shoulder where I was bent. And he said, I see you are a very hardworking young man. I know you would definitely make it. When he said it, I busted into tears.
Wow.
I couldn't control it. I didn't know how he knew I was struggling inwards. That gave me a lot of courage. When I went home, I told my wife, this is what I met today, this is what I encountered. I think we'll go on it. So that's one of my most encouraging experiences. And very bitter experiences. I think the most bitter experience is doing a job for someone that ran into millions of naira. That's in my currency. And up to today, the company hasn't paid me. And it happened when my old company was very, very young. So we put in everything we had to really create the pieces, only for them to breach the contract till today. So it was really, 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 really a bitter experience.
I'm sitting here like, I know that experience.
You know that. I'm telling you, it's really challenging. When you put in all you had, borrowed money from all friends and family, and you finish the business and you can't get your money back. So we had to start all over again. Another time we got to the factory, all my workers have left. We had to shut down for like 2 weeks. People were calling, we didn't know what to do. They had a meeting, and behind us, they all left. We ought to start all over again. In fact, that was the point. It was like the breaking point. We said, okay, let's just let's just close business and find something else. But somehow, like I tell young people, the Bible says, after having done all things, stand. So after we'd done all things, we just came there, opened the office, and started in the store. And before we know it, the business picked up again, and here we are today with over 50 workers.
Well, I cannot thank you enough. I know that we had just earlier talked. I have a 16-man fashion troupe.
Wow.
We look at women all the time, and so my concept was for the appreciation of the man. And so and right now, and I mean, it's taken off. Looking around, I didn't see anybody doing that. And so I definitely am so excited about them showing your collection this year. So
thank you so much.
you have to the cutoff for it, you had to be over 45 and you had to have a beard. And so I mean, and this is
Why
only
should it be over 45?
Yeah, and well, it's because this zaddy, all the college. Oh my God, that's my zaddy, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but you need to buy a ticket. So I cannot thank you enough for coming, and like I said, just blessings to you.
Thank you very much.
What is it before you go? And I know you tapped on it for a second. For somebody out there who is I'm afraid, what if this is going to be a failure? What do you say?
I just want to say to the person, you have to follow your heart. You just have to start somewhere. I mean, that's what has kept so many people under. So many talents have gone to the grave. So many books have gone to the grave. So many businesses have gone to the grave. I like reading a lot of biographies, and I like reading a lot of people's accomplishments. There is not one single great person, man or woman, who didn't fall and fail more than 20 times. Go check. There is not one successful billionaire, sports enthusiast, legal luminary, captain of industry, great singer, great presenter, great comedian. There's not been one who has been a global icon that didn't fail and fall more than 20 times. But each time, you know what the Bible says? The righteous man falleth 7 times and standeth up. Each time when you fall, you stand. You fall, you stand. I teach people this. When you hear, you know the diagram, you know the graph of successful people or graph of big businesses. You just see when they draw the graph goes like this, right? From the lower to the higher, right? Between that trajectory, that line, between that line, point A to point B, is this.
Yeah, look.
So, but when you draw it, it looks as if it's so successful. But between it, there are so many blisters, so many long journeys. So, I mean, the grind is real. When you go through all those and you keep at it, you just end up succeeding, especially when you have God. So whatever is your dream, whatever is your plan, whatever is what passion, whatever is what you want to follow, I tell you, just get at it, get all the necessary materials, get good apprenticeship, learn, be a good intern, go under somebody, sit down for 6 months, 1 year, learn. The next thing, plunge. You will never have it all perfect. You will have ups and downs, but keep at it. One day you will get to where you're going.
Give it up. You all, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that Fantasia. I'm so excited. So,
Thank
yes, you must come again. And you know your family. One
Thank
day
you,
every
family.
year.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
gosh. Give it up one more time. Wow. So yeah, see, I mean, I told you, family, we having a ball. We just sitting at home, and I'm glad you met us in your home. So we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back.
They say successful African dynasties are a myth, and we lost our strength when we were torn from our heritage. That's what they say. We know a new generation of kings and queens in America are claiming their thrones. From scientists to activists, from educators to entertainers, we're changing the world. We see you, new kings and queens. We're one community that continues to beat the odds. And now, we're focused on our money. Rise up and make Black history today. It's time to unleash the king and queen in you. Get the card. Bank Black at oneunited.com. Proud member FDIC.
Remember. All right, let me tell you a little bit about this gentleman. This gentleman's gift was through sound. And needless to say, the faith planet and the dream and the passion met, and along came Abby Cheche. Gentleman has played all over the world, has videos, has had awards, and a Nigerian sensation that has extended and said God created the heavens and the earth and the world, and so it is his playing ground. So tonight he is going to play one of his, I love this song. He's going to come in and saxophonist, and it is Gyration. So without any further ado, put your hands together tonight for saxophonist Abby Cheche. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you're gonna, okay, so we'll talk first. So
No, let me, whichever way you want.
either way you're gonna make some music. No, but yes. So, and the saxophonist, what is your saxophone's name? I have heard that every musician's instrument has a name.
Oh, this is alto saxophone. It's called alto saxophone. The brand is Cannonball,
Okay,
made from Utah.
okay, so he doesn't. That's not Sam. That's not. Nobody. It doesn't have a name. You know, that's not
You said what?
Josiah. You know, My microphone has a name.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cutie, don't mess us up. So, do you talk to your, because
Oh,
B.B.
yeah.
King, his guitar's name was Lucille.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
he was,
okay.
so does your saxophone have a name?
Baby, I call it baby.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, Abby and baby. Okay, see, all right, now, yeah. So how long has this been? How long has the journey been?
Oh, it's pretty long. I've started playing saxophone since 1997.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So what made that jump?
Oh, actually, though, as a young man, I just pick up interest in playing music. I started with trumpet, so I'm from Nigeria, as my brother.
Okay. Look, the Nigerians
So-
in the house, the flow.
So I started in a local church somewhere we call the place Ojuelegba. I started playing the saxophone. I pick it up and I love it. It's sounding well. I'm like, okay, this is good.
So are you self-taught?
No, somebody taught me.
Okay.
But I pick up fast. I'm a very fast
Yeah.
learner.
Okay. So how many instruments do you play?
Ons, pretty much. I play the saxophone. I play the trumpet. I play trombone.
Wow.
A little bit of keyboard.
Oh
piano.
my gosh. Okay. So does the family understand, or do they say get a real job? As an artist, sometimes we don't get the greatest cheerleaders in the family.
Okay.
What are you doing with this? You need a real job. This is
Okay.
not gonna make you money. So
I might tell you this. I'm not just an artist. I'm an IT professional certified engineer. I have probably, if you want from my little bit of background, I'll give it to you. I was born in Nigeria, raised, and from there I came to United States. I'm working for United States government. I'm the guy that built all the server they use for unemployment insurance in all the 50 states in United States, including U.S. territory, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and Guam. This is the guy that built all the server. I've served under U.S. government, Department of Labor. I did that. I did another one for Social Security Administrator. I'm one of the engineers that built fraud prevention system in the United States. I've worked for Social Security Administration. I'm one of the engineers that built Obamacare. And also, I'm one of the engineers that set up a Center for Medicaid and Medicare in the United States. I'm one of the engineers that built for GAO, General Accountability Office. So we are the guy behind the scene doing everything, the budgeting for United States government. So currently, I've served U.S. Senate as well as the engineer. So we are the engineers. I'm the DevOps engineer that do the automation behind the scene that you guys don't see. And also, currently, I'm serving South Florida Hospital as a artificial intelligence engineer. Thank you. And I wear so many hats. I'm also with all this wealth of experience and the knowledge. So last year I decided to go and run for House of Representative in my country, to empower the youth, to give them many opportunities. And one of my promise to open international doors for them. Like my brother said, there's a lot of challenges in Africa, and I see a lot of talent going down the drain. I'm like, okay, so what can I do here? So I decided to put a football club together. So I'm a president of Chichester FC. So opening the doors for the young talents to sell them through the Europe, to bring them to America, for them to fulfill their dream and their vision. So playing the saxophone is just one of the things that I do.
So it sounds like that's your release.
Yes.
You come away and you and baby do the thing.
Matter of fact, I have a big concert tomorrow, so everybody's invited.
Wow.
It's titled Sounds of Joy concert.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big major concert that is going to be a blast tomorrow by 5 p.m. If you have time, it's down the street. From here, you can just stop by at Riverdale. So
I am so humble.
56, 17, 54th Avenue, Riverdale. The name of the church is called RCCG River of Life. So it's coming down there big time. We're preparing for that. This guy on the keyboard, that's one of the guys that's going to be performing there tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to be told. It's a song.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, without any further ado, I'm going to let you and I'm going to let Baby get together and make some magic. What is the name of the song this evening and what brought the song out of you?
Okay. You said what's the name of the what song?
The song, the piece that you're going to perform?
Okay. It says you lift me high, you lift me up. I got a lot of sound, but I'm just going to give you just a little bit, one of them, just for you to, to feel what is going to happen tomorrow. Maybe one or two tracks, and we'll be okay with that.
Okay.
All right, let's
So,
do it.
yeah, so without any further ado, Abby Cheche. Thank you. Wow. So quickly, as I was saying to Okwe, what do you say to the person at home who is, or to the family here, who is challenged with, music, or I don't know if I can do this, I don't want to be judged, how do I know? What do you say for moving forward?
Okay. It's very easy. Once you pick up interest, you are 50% done. Like my brother said the other time, when you start, it's not going to be perfect. There will be sometimes you're going to miss it. Don't worry, keep going. Just keep looking at the future that is very bright. At times you might be right. At times you might be wrong. But focus on the end goal. I want to get it. Then you will get it. That's it.
Wow.
So
your social medias, how can we find you? How can we support you? Your downloads, are you on all of the...
I'm on all the platform, Apple Music. Just type in that name, Abby Cheche. Just once you put Abby Cheche, you're good to go.
And I see you're not afraid of heights, because I saw the video when you was on top of it. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna fall. You was jamming, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this. This man about to fall, because he's moving. I'm like, oh Lord. So yeah.
I'm not gonna fall because I fly all the time with saxophone. I've traveled around the world. I've been to Germany. I've been to France. I've been to Italy. I've been to Ukraine. I've been to London. I've been to Canada. I'm here in the United States. I've been to Africa. All over the world, playing the saxophone, and also doing that piece. it's just one of the effects you have to have on music. You know, you just have to
Yeah.
do what is it's a music art. No, I've never been to school for music, but it's a God-given talent. Thank you. So I think my background academically is my first degree is in accounting, Bowie State University. And the
So you make the money, manage the money, go develop the pieces for, my God.
Yeah, so it's like I'm a young guy that I just love to learn new things, and it's a passion for me to affect my generation. Everybody have a goal. I want to be an institution that after when I pass, people still want to learn about me. Abi Cheche is a great man. So there's opportunity for everybody to learn new things. Don't stop learning. My advice for you, don't stop learning. Keep going. Keep acquiring more knowledge. And most of you that are American America is a very big place to grow. The system allows you to become whatever you want to become. It gives you the opportunity to become whatever you want to become. There are so many more land to possess in the United States. So I just take advantage of that. Went back to school, study, do cloud computing, coding. I went into coding, start coding, and I started working for the government, and I'm doing well. And at the same time, it's not stopping my music. So I just picked something, a career that is going to be very similar to music because I love music so much. So I pick up IT, information technology. So
that is nowhere near
because
music.
Because you have to practice. It's
Do
just like
not sit
saxophone.
here
You have to practice to be a better
yes.
man. So that's what I did.
IT is not, I'm afraid of your brain cells, as a matter of fact, right
No,
now.
you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. It's just a matter of
I disagree with that. You cannot do everything you wanted to do. I can't even, I want to turn my cell phone on, but yeah.
It's
That's a gift.
It's just a matter of self-development. Like I said earlier on, once you pick up interest, you are 50% done. Trust me. It's your interest. If you love to do something, if you want to play saxophone today, I've seen some ladies that play saxophone good. Mm-hmm. So what they did was just that they developed interest. I want to do this. And after that, there are a bunch of lessons on YouTube. You can learn online. You can, very easy. Now that we have AI, it's going to teach you like this. That's it.
I'm afraid of AI. I'll probably come out real intelligent. I don't know. My AI might really, really get us somewhere. I mean, she might raise my credit score. She might really, really give me some places I never could get in. Just, okay. No, but I'm so thankful that you came by. I'm humble. And I tell everybody, nobody has to do anything for you. This generation that we have given birth to thinks that it's just you have to. Nobody has to help you. Nobody has to mentor, teach you. Nobody has to do anything. For everybody who's sitting here, everyone who's decided to watch, everyone who is participating, you didn't have to do this. So I am so appreciative that each and every one of you said, I'm going to come by and I'm going to do this, because the greatest thing you can give me is your time.
Yes.
You can't get that back. Yes. So, oh my God. So once again, I thank you, and blessings on your concert tomorrow. Everyone, again, Abi Cheche. Yes.
I've had a lot of burgers. But you know what I always come back to? Fuddruckers, my favorite since like forever. They use legit ingredients. They always let me create my crave. I'm gonna mix it up today. Let's get crazy. Perfect. And the only thing better than how they look is how they taste. Another 100 likes.
So this next young lady, just talking to her, and the thought of perception of what I had is totally opposite. But without any further ado, this lady who is from Africa, but God gave her the vision while living in America. So her service was receiving the instruction here and taking it back home. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Dr. Columba. So come on up. Yes. How are you doing? Oh, you look beautiful. Oh my goodness. Have a seat. Yes. She's coming in. This is our cousin. We just family. So tell me how, first of all, you are so pretty. And I think we as women sometimes get so, I'm not going to tell her that. Why not? And I think when we are all fighting our own secret hell. And that's guy, girl, rich, poor. And sometimes that one phrase, and I know O'Quarrie just said that one gentleman that told him, made the world's difference. So I will say to you, you are so beautiful, and I'm loving the colors and the outfits.
Thank you.
So tell us about you.
Yes.
And how the mission came and was birthed here, but had a different GPS.
So I am honored to be here, Dr. Adama Koloko, and descendant of Sierra Leone, born and raised in D.C., to parents who came here with a dream from Sierra Leone, West Africa, in the late 60s and early 70s. So I am so honored to be a voice for not only my people that are here, but also those who are in Sierra Leone and beyond. So I am a testimony of someone who just embraced her past, her passion, and it became her power and purpose.
So I know that alone, it is so much, I have so much admiration for you. But it just didn't start immediately.
Yes.
So you had the occupation of the military. Thank you for your service, by the way. It is not easy being a lady in the military. Yes. And I, whether it be the challenge of you being something greater than someone else, of the men can, because it's all like you can't say or something else, it's either man or woman, but there's a lot of men that really, really take pride in keeping the suffrage of our female military members in a servitude position underneath as opposed to the side and above.
Yeah.
So what branch?
So I served in the U.S. Air Force in dietetics, and pretty much that's when my passion for public health began. I did not know it was what God was doing, but I do say, and I told you before, there was a seed of service planted in me from young, and it's been a part of me. It's part of my makeup, so it was nothing I could run away from, and I want to tell that part of the story and how service was connected to my service in the military, in the AmeriCorps, and then serving in Africa. And
did you go out of the country for AmeriCorps?
No, I did not. So AmeriCorps is like the Peace Corps version.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the United States version of Peace Corps. And again, I was in college, just decided to take an internship, didn't know what God was doing. Didn't know that everything that I learned, all those skills and gifts that he poured into me, was going to be used down the road for Sierra Leone. And I thank God. And I wanted to kind of tell a story that I was not always in love with Africa. Being born in D.C., you have a divide. It's like a struggle of, I'm going to be a kid whose parents are from Africa, but I want to be cool. I want to be I don't want to be singled out. And I changed my name. I was Dominique for a little bit. I was anything that made people feel comfortable. And being dark-skinned, I tell a lot of people that you are made the way you are for a reason, but it takes a journey for you to get there. So I am a journey. I'm sitting here as a woman whose journey led her to become better than what she thought she was. So born and raised in D.C., parents, 5 of us, we ate the African food. We, spoke the language. My mom tried to keep us dressed in the outfits, and it just became something I did not want to be. And I became ashamed of my African culture. And that went on for many years.
Wow.
But during that time, people would say, "Where are you from?" And I would kind of be like, "I'm from D.C." And they're like, "No."
I was gonna say, don't say DC.
And
Go
they're
say
like, "No,
Georgia."
you're from somewhere." And I'm like, "No, I'm from D.C. I really am. I was born in Georgetown Hospital." But there's more to being where you're born, but what's inside of you. And that went on for many years. But I believe when I went into the military, the exposure and seeing the diversity and just the learning about who you are, I relearned everything I was in the military. And I did go through a lot of experience, but I believe that the things that were poured into me or tried to pull out of me really made me stronger. So I tell anyone the things that are trying to toughen you up, let it toughen you up, because you don't know what's inside, and that's going to come out after the end.
Was there a sense of rejection from African soldiers and or members of the military that you didn't want to embrace it, but here they stand with it? Was it a, I don't know. After seeing the ATL, you had Nunu, and Nunu didn't want to be wealthy, so she hung around in the projects. And, one day people were like, look, if you are, you are. So what, amongst even other Africans, what, Dominique, what did you?
Again, I believe the shame was still there, and it was just like, again, just working. Things were just working on me. But I'll share a major life story that just completely changed my whole thought process. And I tell people that sometimes tragedy comes in your life, not just to bring darkness, but sometimes there's something God is trying to do with that loss.
Without a doubt.
And I'll fast forward to, the military I did have, people that were from Africa, but I feel like we had a code that don't tell nobody. So we would see
it's
each other.
more than one.
Yeah,
So,
we were not
wow.
like, "Hey, are you from Nigeria?" We were just kind of like, I'm Airman Conte. I was Conte at that time, so it was just, we
So
just
not
kind
just
of,
you.
we were just identified as airmen. We identified
Wow.
airmen. We literally, I feel like I put away my African identity as best as possible. And so I now, this is why I say I have to tell my story. I have to be the voice, because of all the, I'm like making up for all those years.
Yeah. So we're in the military. What says the impact, and what says Sierra Leone? Why couldn't this be anywhere else that, what spoke to you there?
So we're talking about my why. And I tell everyone has a why of what they're doing, right? And my why, I would say, was my parents, mainly my father. My father was a big part of our life. He always told us in the house, "You guys are my African princess." He spoke beauty of Africa into us. He called his family members on the weekends, send them money. Like, we witnessed him be a servant. He hosted meetings at his house to help people in the village that were, without. And he was organizing all this before us. We didn't know. We just thought all these people in our house. But it's a seed of service that was planted through him. And he always made sure that, he was the darkest with the high cheekbones, structure. You could see that he was at. And he always made us feel that beauty. So that's one thing that I can say. The major why that, I didn't listen to the teasing and, and all of that, because I remember my father. And in 1997, my first year as an airman, he did commit suicide. And that just changed the whole, I didn't know what was going on. And I believe that's when I really feel, that's when God stepped in. When somebody say, you know God when you go through something that not even everyone in your family can explain. And I had to go back on base. After my family, we had the funeral and everything, I had to go back to work. And coming back to the barracks, I would just literally be in tears every night. And I'm like, how long can I cry, And it's almost like God just stepped in. I love the butterfly. It's like one of my favorite insects, because I feel like the transformation reminds me of myself, a caterpillar just on its, belly crawling. And then at the point of time, it gets its wings. And you can't clip its wings. It has to grow the wings on its own. And so I always look at that moment when I felt like this is it. I started seeing butterflies. Everyone has their journey, but I
Wow.
saw butterflies, and it
Yes.
reminded me that it's enough crying. Now you have to find how you're going to put respect on his name, and you're
Ooh,
going to bring
okay.
honor, and you're going to make sure that he lives even from the grave. And that is really when I started learning how to read the Bible. I grew up in church, but I didn't.
It's a
I
difference.
was not fed.
Yes, it's a
And
difference.
I just realized that it's at that moment, at the most vulnerable moment, you almost learn all over again to how to love God, to feel God, even through the emotions. So that 1997 was my turning point. That was my why. That was the beginning. I didn't know Impact Sierra Leone. I didn't know that I was going to be a global humanitarian, a philanthropist, a mentor, someone who goes back to help the women and girls. And I didn't know that was the seed that God planted through my dad's death. Because if he didn't die, I would never have an interest in going to Africa. But his death pushed me and my siblings. We need to go visit the Sierra Leone that he talked about on his behalf. And that's how it started. And 2003 was my first year, and I would say that journey to go see family members, and it's interesting when you come in from America, because they spoil you, but then they're taken from you at the same time. But it was just the beauty of going to family members. I never met any of my grandparents alive, but I was determined. I need to go to their grave. I need their blessing. I need them to know their granddaughter is here, and that was where I started that voice, that I have to be a voice for them. Family members telling me stories about my grandfather growing cocoa beans, and I learned so much about my family, and it was an emotional experience. And so that father, my dad returned us to where we were, where we began, and that's where the power of Impact Sierra Leone started.
So exactly. I mean, yes, like seriously, you every one of you has talked about the gift and the drive and the passion, and yours came as a product
Yes.
of wow. What became the impact?
Right.
We're there, we're visiting, and we're seeing relatives, and we're
Yes.
developing who we are
Right.
from where we're standing.
Right.
And the search and the fulfillment of the word, now it's feeding you, but where does the impact come and all of that come together?
Right. So one thing that I realized is that there's so many people that don't have a way to tell their story. And in trying to realize my first visit, of course, it was a journey, but it was humorous, because I'm in the village and I have my beauty cap on, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, and they're like, you out here, take a bath, and I'm like, oh. So I mean, just different experiences in certain villages. That's not how everything is, but I'm just saying that there were some things that opened my eyes, that there's so many people that are without basic resources, like just light, things that I take for granted. And I was a college student. I was still in school.
What'd you major in?
I majored in public health. And so I didn't know what that was leading me to, but literally,
yes.
when I came out, I feel like someone said about your passion. When your passion drives you, the doors just open. And I realized that my going to Africa, I was not the same person when I came back. When I came back, I just immediately started collecting clothes. I went into action mode. I think that just seeing the needs of people, even as the end of the airport, people were still asking, and I said, people are hungry, and I don't have it all. I'm a young girl just trying to still discover my life, but I realized this is why I was created. Like, this makes sense. Like, I was designed to go back and help, but also bring the creative energies. I did wedding planning, I did event planning. Nothing worked, but I didn't know. God said, you're gonna come back to that. That's all coming back. All the skills and the gifts and talents that I poured into you, the creative design, it's going to come back. Be patient. And that's what I learned about God. He's a God that will let you see where you're going, but you have to find that joy in the journey.
Yes. Oh my God,
and
yes.
keep moving. So,
Yes.
so the impact came from when I just had a wake up moment. You know, I was an executive assistant for many years, so I was just going from these, jobs that were safe, and I wasn't happy.
Did you
But
ask for it? Like, okay, God,
did.
show me.
I
like
did.
This. Okay.
I asked God. I said, I need direction. I know that everyone says you have so much in you. I've always been a servant. I've always been somebody that just likes to help. But pulling it all together, And when I went to Africa, that's when the light bulb. When I was coming back on the airplane, you have a long time to think. That's when the light bulb went off. That God's going to use you to serve your people. And in doing so, your purpose is about to come life. And I started going and trying to, plan out what that meant. Getting on social media and trying to, open my mouth. And what I did, the first thing I did is I took all the pictures that I took from the 8 villages that I visited, and I told the stories. And I thought, I'm not going to listen to what people say, but a lot of my friends, family, they said, I want to thank you for telling the story about this farmer, about this woman who wants to do this and that, and about your grandparents you never met. I told the stories. That's
So
what my
the-
Facebook was, is the stories of me and my voyage to Sierra Leone.
So the Impact nonprofit,
Yes.
and it is for women within the village, or just members of the villages,
Right.
or
Impact Sierra Leone is not for just a village. It actually is an organization. Our mission is to reduce poverty. That's number one.
Okay.
And we do that in we do that by empowerment in programs that we try to provide food. And there's so many different ways that you can do a project, but I believe that the best way is sustainable. And so I decided that I would turn, and Impact Sierra Leone did not give birth until 2019.
Okay.
But I went to Sierra Leone in 2003.
But as
And-
the other people,
Yes.
the other gentlemen say, begin
Yes,
somewhere.
Yes. The reason why
Wow.
I say the years is because I was afraid of starting an organization. I decided that I'll just be giving from the back, and I'll just be a quiet giver. And then I didn't like public speaking at all because I thought I didn't have anything to say. I was very shy. I felt not beautiful, so I felt I'll do it from behind. And I feel like, just a different thing that happened. Different people start pouring into me. Say, I see you on a stage. I see you talking to people, and I'm like, no, not me. But it's amazing when God sends people to pour into you and your fears. He will send helpers your way. And that's what
yeah.
he did. I did my first story, I think, on LinkedIn, and I said I'm just a descendant who is proud of her roots. And I came back to Sierra Leone, and I did not have it all, but I decided that I wanted to go back to the village and to the orphans and help. And that's when different people started messaging me saying, I seen your message. How can I help you? And one person said, do you have a bio? I said, I do not. You need a bio because you're going to be going places. And he wrote my bio. And I don't even know where he is to this day, but he just said, don't worry about anything. I just want to prepare you because you're about to become a great woman. And then from then on, I just started telling the story again, and different people would ask me to speak and be a part of groups. And then I got the confidence to launch Impact Sierra Leone in 2019. So God built me up through people.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that. And I always remember 1 Corinthians, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. So I said, oh, as long as I love him, God's going to do the rest. And that's what he did. And so Impact Sierra Leone came in 2019, right before COVID. Yes.
So this, okay, so this. I don't know what you see. You have to understand. I'm so blind. I'm like, what? Okay, y'all sorry. Oh, now it's red. It died. It died.
Okay.
I understand 1 minute. 1 minute it died. The other minute it was good. No, I'm just playing. So, looking at me, y'all know I'm blind. I was being cute. I put my glasses on. I'm doing this.
So 2019, December, I started by helping these orphan girls. It was an orphanage of 30 women. And at that time, I didn't know how I wanted to help Sierra Leone. And someone that was close to me said, I found an orphanage, and I think you'd be a good partner. So I was their voice for over a year. I helped bring resources to them, and I gave each of them a story. I put up their story, and it allowed them to get a new place, to help provide a safe haven, and I partnered with the women in Sierra Leone from here. So that was my first effort into Impact Sierra Leone, is helping these girls, because if my mom never traveled to Africa, I would be in Sierra Leone. And so I put myself into them. But then as time goes on again, that journey, like, God, I know there's bigger than just with the girls. God led me in 2020. We know the COVID came and kind of shut things down. And another major milestone that happened is February 2020. Someone who I consider to be my son, my younger brother, passed away. And again, I'm like, God, okay, what are you doing? And he used that again to push me, because I thought, that's it, Impact Sierra Leone, I'm done. I'm emotionally drained. 2020 is kicking butt. And I still was able to keep Impact Sierra Leone alive. And fast forward to today, we are now, we started an anchor program called Seeds of Life, because I wanted to feed people not for today, but for tomorrow. So we have an agriculture program. I started a farm group for just the women, so that the women have their own. And every year for the last 3 years, I've gone to that community and thrown them an end-of-year party to celebrate them, so they feel like people. And I give them clothes and shoes. And this year we're gonna, do it again. And so that's our, we bring people as a bridge. We consider ourselves a bridge. And I appeal, and I always reach out to my cousins, all those who are born here. I said, we got work to do, not only in the U.S., but in Africa. So the Seeds of Life program is our anchor program. We do everything from youth empowerment. I started a soccer team for the boys, and the boys, and so the whole community, the stakeholders, the chiefs, you can't go into a village and just, you have to engage with the community. So I always say that our motto is, united we stand, together we rise, because that's really what we do. We bring people to the table to tell us to make that impact. So this is just the beginning. We're actually going to try and link Seeds of Life to the U.S. and try to help teach the power of agriculture and crop science and the environment to schools. So look out for Impact Sierra Leone, trying to be that connection. And
I'm
greater.
so honored and happy, and it's a bunch of emotions. Like, you really pressed through. So how can we continue to watch, to learn, to support?
Yes.
You said you have, is it a website?
Yes, so our website is impactsierraleone.org. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We have a YouTube channel, so you can kind of go through the journey, go to the communities that we've served, and we're trying to start a lot of, even the cultural part. We're trying to restore the culture in the village, so we start in like their African dance. So all of that is on our website. We're still trudging along, but I believe that we are turning our trying to transform communities into sustainable cities that will be here not just today but tomorrow as well.
Well, family, give it up for Dr. Adima Colombo.
Yes.
And we're gonna Mr. Coy Lassine.
All right, all right, all right. How you doing there, huh?
Hi, Angel. Welcome, welcome. So, just a little bit. So, yes, everyone give the family.
Thank you very much, folks. I
Yes.
feel the energy. I
Yes.
feel the energy, huh?
So, yes, so tell us how it's going.
How's it going? Well, a lot's going on. Thank you so much for the intro. Let's hear it one more time for Kim Vaughn, huh? Doing a wonderful job there. Like she said, I did a lot of traveling. I do a lot of traveling, as you know. And I tell
Are
you,
you on Spirit?
let me tell you something about Spirit. Okay, first of all, I don't want to get on anything that's a synonym for alcohol. Okay, I'm just not gonna do it, huh? I'm just not. I mean, it's like a school bus with wings. That's what I'm saying. It's just, it's like I'm in Walmart, but I'm flying. I don't know. It's just really crazy. I don't know. Spirit to me, because it's like, because the Bible says that true worshipers worship the Father, right?
Yes.
And come on, y'all know the scripture. In spirit and in truth. And the truth is, I'm not getting on that plane. That's what's the truth. I mean, you can see the folks, the folks who've been on the plane, because you see them, they catch the spirit because they're not on the plane no more. They made it. They survived. That's what.
Oh my gosh.
there it goes.
So traveling, and I just told you yesterday, in traveling now humbles you because the walk of shame is TSA. Boy, when you take those socks off, you see people that mismatch socks. You see one with a hole, and people just look up like, don't look down. And yeah, when you have to travel, and people that look like they need to,
I just
purify themselves and wash their
some
feet.
Some folks need to wear socks, okay? Because the toes, it's just, that alone will just take off
Yes.
They just, like they got the toes just sets off the alarm and everything. Folks need to put on socks.
And it's so funny because look, I'll probably germify some people, but you get in and you got your little squirt of your hand sanitizers, but they say take off your shoes, stand on these feet. I'm like, how many feet have I stood on?
Oh my God!
Hold your hands up.
Oh
I'm like,
my goodness!
I want to do this.
Oh, see now I can't.
See, I'm messing it
That's
up.
messing me up now. I was
Oh,
never
still
germaphobe. Thank you, Kim. Now I've got that conscious on me now. Appreciate it.
Woo! But
Thank you so
yes.
much.
So, I mean, you to me are incredible. The writer. It's one thing to write, but when you can look at others along the journey and help them with your writing, I think it's incredible.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So you give back, and you give back in a way that, I mean, it's one thing to help someone along the line with comedy. It's another thing but you have developed a show that Comedy Genius. So tell everybody about that.
Yeah, the Comic Genius Show. It's a really great show. It's basically, I would say, American Idol meets Whose Line Is It Anyway meets Last Comic Standing meets Jeopardy. It's just taking comedy to another level.
Yes.
And when you've been in the game as long as we both have, you got to say, well, what can I bring back? What can I give back to the community? And this is an opportunity for upcoming comedians to actually perform in front of seasoned comics and panelists, and they will give them scores and tell them, hey, you know what, your timing needs to be better, but keep it going. And I love the joke you did there. And we do a whole series of that, and whoever wins will be the champion of Comic Genius Show, huh?
So, yeah. So this is what season?
This is the third season.
I'm so happy.
And yes, thank you. Yes. Make sure you go to Comic Genius Show on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, subscribe on Comic Genius Show. And we've had panelists that's did some amazing thing. One panelist has actually been on Dry Bar. They've done amazing things. So these are seasoned comedians that have done some amazing things. So you don't really get that opportunity as a comedian first starting out.
You just get pie to the face.
Yeah, they don't. No one's gonna say nothing to you.
No.
No one. I remember I had an opportunity when I first starting out. When I was starting out, Tracy Morgan. I had an opportunity to meet Tracy Morgan.
Oh, wow.
And I said, Tracy, what'd you think? What do you think of the show? And he's like, just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, how is that gonna help me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for to get real good criticism, and we're not crushing anybody's dreams. We're just making sure that they go to the next level in their career, and we're just trying to help them. So that's what we're trying to do, Comic Genius Show.
Yes, and so this season, new season, so your first 3 seasons are already up. When does your new season start?
The new season has already started, but we haven't did the finale yet.
Okay.
So the finale is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, but once again, you got to subscribe to know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen in a couple of weeks. I don't want you guys to miss it. But if you go back to the first, second, and third, you'll see the amazing, one comedian actually has 1 million views on TikTok. So he's, these guys, they are, and the competition is so tough. And people come from all over Detroit, just different places all over the country to perform and to compete. And I tell you, it's a great thing. And we give them really good questions to really test their knowledge. Because look, this new generation, do they really know the Bernie Macs? Do they really know these people? Other Richard Pryor.
I'm Facebook funny. I
So
do
we
3 minutes a day, and I got 30,000 followers. And when these promoters book these people, they don't have a stage presence. So because you don't have the 9 million followers, this person has the name, but you get in, they don't know technique, they don't know, hey, that was a good callback. Man, you segued incredible, and so it is a bit frustrating.
Right.
No one tells you any longer.
No one tells you. So this is why it's a great opportunity. So any up-and-coming comedians that are watching the show right now.
Yes, I was going to say, what do you say to them?
Go to Comic Genius Show at gmail.com. Send us an email and say, hey, look, I want to be on the show. And it's a clean comedy show. You know what I mean? So if you have a clean 5-minute set, then you're good. You know what I mean?
So who's the idea? Is this someone who's done it more than a year, 2 years? Because if you're in front of some critics, they're critiquing.
I mean, it just depends. I mean, if they're 5, it's maybe 5, less than 5 years. But some comedians, they've said, yeah, I've done it for 10 years, but they haven't been regularly doing it. They might have been funny in front of a cookout or at the family reunion, and they have everybody cracking up. Yeah. But it's a different thing when you're making family laugh, and then when you're on stage in front of strangers and nobody knows you.
Yes.
They're gonna, oh, that's Uncle John. Uncle John, you're just so crazy. Look at you over there. You're just so funny. Oh my goodness. You know what? You should be a comedian. That's what you should be.
It's nothing like being blessed to be on 3,500, 4,500 capacity theaters. And when you look and see different races, different sex, different incomes, different thoughts and social, and one phrase, and that whole room laughs. Oh my God. So yeah, and unfortunately, it's gridlock safe. So what you're doing is you're birthing comics, because the comedy clubs right now want safe. They want names. So there's so many of us out here that can't get in because the old heads sound like Hope. If you don't retire and start doing after the pay-per-view commercials, but the comedy clubs want, and unfortunately, the majority of the clubs owned are white, and they only give a couple of black comics as it is per month to be booked. So you've got all of these people outside trying to get in, and right now in the game, you have to redevelop and recreate. So God bless you for giving that to anybody right now.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. It's a different game. It's a different game when we're going up. I mean, and is it me? I don't know, you guys. It's like, it's the comedy now is a little bit different. It's kind of like,
and you scared to say anything
but
anymore.
Back in the day,
oh my God,
the comedians, you saw somebody else, you're like, oh,
seriously. But no, you can't talk about anything anymore.
That was how comedy was. Am I right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. I mean, you couldn't stand in your seat. It was just so funny. You had to get up out of your chair. That's how funny folks were back then.
People are so censored. I mean, you can't say anything about obese or fat. You can't say anything about people that love dogs. You can't say nothing about kids. You can't say nothing. And oh, that can't.
Unless
That's
you're
my
Dave
Kentucky.
Chappelle.
You can't say nothing.
Unless you're Dave Chappelle. You
Because
can do anything.
well, and
You can do anything, you're Dave Chappelle.
and well, then it's money. It's power.
It's very interesting how, and you talked about me going overseas. Big shout out to Coco Brown. She got me that opportunity.
I love her.
To go overseas, and that's a whole nother avenue. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Because there's a different, now you're dealing with a different culture and everything like that. You know what I mean? And it's just very interesting. I remember an opportunity, I got to perform, like you said, Notre Dame, Rotterdam, Amsterdam. I'm thinking like, who was the promoter? Florida Evans, you know what I'm saying? It's just all these dams. But I mean, just the bottom line.
It's really rough.
It's
because
very
you have to
interesting.
know the
Some
lingo.
of y'all just got that. Shame on you. Y'all are slow. Come on.
Seriously, you can go. Was it United Kingdom? And so you got a comic that's over there, so I went out and I smoked a fag. And I'm like, oh my God, he shot some, in our heads. And I'm like, how can he say, well, a fag is a cigarette in UK? So I smoked a fag, and our approach, I know, right? I was terrified. I was like, ah! But our approach there, it has to appeal and vice versa.
Has a crossover.
Yeah.
It has a totally crossover. I remember, this is a scary situation, folks. There was a guy, I was talking about the smart car, and the smart car was over in Europe. It wasn't even in the US yet. And I was doing a joke, and this big old European guy, I mean, he looked like Drago from Rocky. I mean, he was
I
huge.
will break you.
Huge. He gets on stage, right? This is before Chris Rock. He gets on stage. He shows me his keys. He says, look at this. I was like, okay. Okay. These are keys. I drive a smart car. I drive a smart car. And I'm like, okay, so where did you park it? In your pocket? You know what I'm saying? Just I was so bold. Americans are bold, and he's like, and I'm like, first of all, he looked like he was drinking, so I'm like, okay, I need an interpreter. Can anybody speak Heineken? You know what I'm saying? Because he was just, and I'm like, somebody's gonna pop off in the back, Arnold Schwarzenegger's gonna, all right, everybody get down to the ground, run, get to the chopper, do it now. No. Why is always talking about the chopper? Like, what's with the chopper? Can I don't know, can I take an Uber? Get to the Uber, do it now.
No,
hurry, run.
The new cars, the driverless cars.
Oh,
do you
my
know
goodness.
that the driving cars?
Yeah.
Do you know, and this is not funny, do you know that they are having a hard time with melanin recognition? We couldn't get a cab when it was a real person.
Wow.
Now it's nobody, and they just, no, I'm sorry. They don't pick up black people. There is melanin recognition.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm cracking up, but I'm afraid. Would you get in one?
No.
I don't know. I don't know if this car.
I'm just that type of guy. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I'm the type of guy, I will read everything on the back of a cereal box because I'm just nervous. I mean, the bottom,
Somehow
it's
I
like,
can
okay,
see
is
that.
it real fruit in Fruit Loops? It's, what is orange juice now has calcium, so what's milk gonna have? Pulp, you know what I mean? I'm just so conscious, man. Conscious. I just don't want to get, because if that car is discriminating against me, and I say the wrong thing in the car, who's to say it's gonna just stop?
No,
And
it's
then
gonna
I'm
keep
like-
going.
That joint stop, and then I'm saying like, why did we stop? What did
Get
I say?
out.
I said, I look out the window. Choo choo, choo choo. Oh, this thing done stopped in front of the train tracks. I can't get out the car. There it goes.
Yeah.
I should have got on Spirit. That's what
Yeah. I mean, didn't they see Christine? Like, that car drove itself. Like, and it's almost like we're getting so beyond.
It's too fast. We're not ready for that.
This just like the little ship that went down in the water and then crashed.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It would, if you watched Gilligan's Island, that wouldn't have happened. Just sit right back and would tell a tale of a faithful ship that started on a tropical port. They say, yeah, the minnow would be lost. You know, I mean, it was like they didn't listen.
They didn't listen.
But we're so ahead, Coy, that, yeah.
Very scary.
In the arena, real quick,
Yes.
What are you afraid of? Right now, I'm afraid of people. What scary moment have you had with the public? Because they don't criminally, they don't check. They don't security check in comedy clubs. They don't wind you down. They don't look in your purse. So, and we own everything now. Not just Heineken, we own Percocets and Geritol and you know,
You really don't know.
Viagra. You know, so what's the scary moment for you?
I think it's a cell phone. You know, it's that cell phone is dangerous, y'all. I mean, it could save or break you. I don't know. I folks be taking anything on the cell phone. Am I right? I mean, stuff pop off. A squirrel jumps a rat, and that's on camera. You know what I mean? It's just everything is on that phone now. It's too much. It's distraction. It's so much going on. I don't know. I just you know it's just I don't know what I'm afraid of. You know what? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
So
you know
you never
what?
had anything crazy on stage?
I mean,
happen?
other than Drago, you know, other than that, I mean, look, you know, I'm not. It's something about being on stage that makes you a superhero.
Oh yeah.
To be able to command an audience and to make folks laugh is a gift from God. Am I right?
Oh, without a
And laughter
doubt.
is good medicine, huh? It sure is.
I mean, yeah. I think the craziest thing for me, I did Carnival.
Oh
and
my
you know,
gosh.
people with cruise liners is something else. But you know, you have to sign so much. You cannot say drown. You cannot say water. And you have to initial this. You cannot say rescue. You cannot say save.
Wow.
You cannot say boat. So we're on this thing. I don't know what the hell to call this. And we're floating. No, we're not floating. We're existing. Yeah. And I mean, when you get on there, it's get party. You know, Carnival, Norwegian is dun, 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 dun. You know, Royal Caribbean, that was good evening. Carnival, oots, 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 oots.
Carnival is I mean, it's more than a party now. It's 1 million views on YouTube because folks be tripping, be fighting. It's crazy on Carnival now.
You know the Tom Joyner cruise?
Yeah.
Do you know it got so bad that because people don't understand, on a cruise there is a morgue and there is a jail. We not gonna stop this boat because your tail decided to die eating the buffet.
See, that right there tells me I'm not getting on that boat.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
If it tells me that they have a jail cell, I mean, where is the jail cell? Is it
It's
under
in
the
the
boat?
bottom.
It's in the bottom. Well, of course it is.
But it got so bad with Tom Joyner that he had to put Judge Brown on it because once you leave American waters, if you are arrested, you get the first port as the arrest. So if you fighting and y'all going to Bahamas, guess where you gonna get at? Guess where you gonna be detained?
Haiti.
So then no, shut up.
No, I don't know. I'm asking.
So no, if you're
I'm
going
asking.
to the Bahamas, first
Okay.
place if you fight, you're gonna get off and they're gonna knock you up in the Bahamas. So now you gotta find a lawyer that's gonna go in both jurisdictions of America and the Bahamas. I mean, it's money, 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 money.
Well,
so
you
they
find a
had-
Bahama mama.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, seriously, but you'll never come back. I rock you,
That's
you know.
terrible.
But it got so bad on Tom Joyner's cruise
Wow.
that they had to hire Judge Brown because he could arrest you, you could get served, you could go downstairs and be detained and still come back to America and serve court. And I'm talking, it goes down.
Judge Joe Brown.
Yeah, because I'm on here and I'm looking good, and you know, me and my woman, we from Detroit. What you doing looking at my woman? I mean, women
Wow.
get drunk and I'm sorry, and oh, you look good. Oh, it gets down
You
there.
know,
After
Carnival's
that-
not going to ask you back. You know that, right? Carnival's not
Seriously.
going to ask you back. But I mean, I love JoJo. I mean, I listen to him on YouTube. He's just so radical. Judge Joe Brown is a
I don't know
no
what
chaser,
he
no
is.
joke. He's just. So you mean to tell me? I mean, he's just straight about that business. But just behave yourselves, folks. If you're watching, if you go on Carnival, just behave yourself. Don't do nothing crazy.
No, I had a
They're gonna do
gentleman-
crazy.
I had a gentleman at midnight, and he jumped up and pulled his pants down on stage. Oh, I have been through some stuff. And he's like, oh, what you think about this? And I thought, you got disability. You was awarded a disability check. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, my God. But,
You gotta be
comic,
cool.
Yes.
You gotta
like,
be
what am
cool.
I to do with this? And it's
Yeah.
like the Wizard of Oz. I got my, I'm pushing all kinds of buttons in here. But
Wow.
how
You be
can
clicking
we...
your heels and stuff.
Yes, it's me, the little
Wow,
bald yellow
Steve.
lady. I promise you, dear. This time, but yeah.
That's crazy. And that's why, I don't do as many secular events, but, I do churches because,
Oh, they can be crazy
know.
too.
uh-oh.
They can be
I
crazy
know.
too. So, but yes, with serious business, because personal interpretation is everything. And even, yeah, I mean, and that's where I challenge it, because the church, it's people. It's not just the church, it's people. And with that, you still have everybody who's individual in the church. So the tone of church, well,
Be like, boo, you're
Yeah.
not of God, you're not of God. Boo!
seriously.
Satan, I rebuke you. It's like, what do you say to somebody who boos you? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's never happened to me, but for those who might have experienced that, that's why there's the altar and that's why there's prayer. You know?
Yeah.
You're right there. It can all happen. Right there.
So how can we follow you? How can we book you? What are you doing these days?
Yeah, Comic Genius Show at gmail.com. Hit me up. And you can follow me on Instagram at Comedian Coy. You can follow me on Facebook at Comedian Coy. You can follow me at Comic Genius Show on Instagram. I'm either Comic Genius Show or Comedian Coy. But thank you, folks. Hey,
Yes.
follow me.
Yes. Thank you so much. Oh, I love you to death.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Comedian Coy Lasine. There we are. Yes.
Okay, everybody, so here it is right now. Here it is. Comic Genius is back. That's right. Season 2 is already here. And we've got characters. That's right. Comedic characters are coming to life right here on Comic Genius. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Instagram. And you can catch us on Facebook at Comic Genius Show. Don't forget, at Comic Genius Show, subscribe. You got to subscribe, huh? That's what you got to do. And remember, it's not just a game show, it's Comic Genius.
Folks that I have remaining tonight, like I said, everybody has played a part into this, and I'm so grateful to God. I can't thank you enough. This lady literally reached out and touched my spirit and my lashes. This is a dynamic young lady. Her story is very, very touching. It's endearing, and I just fell in love with her. The mission, my lashes. I'm like, okay. But without any further ado, she owns Amazing Lash of Alexandria. So it's not just, it is her. She's made this her. So put your hands together for Miss April Nickens. She's so cute. Hi, dog. Okay, come on in, have a seat. The family, mama and them, and everybody outside. Yeah, mama and them, and everybody at home. So I had the pleasure of meeting you. First of all, you are such a beautiful spirited lady.
Thank you.
And again, I don't know if God's trying to tell me go back to school or listen, because everybody on this stage tonight, I'm just like, I like to sing about, So you just opened your first of many stores, the franchise of, let's see, there goes the earring. of Amazing Lash Studio. So tell everyone a little bit about it.
Okay, so Amazing Lash Studio, I'm independently owned, even though it's a franchise. We have a location in Alexandria, Virginia, and I am licensed to open one more, and we're looking in DC or Tyson, somewhere in there.
I'm so excited for you.
But we focus on the natural eye line. So we do lash extensions, and she has on some extensions today. She came by the studio last night and got the full service. And we
Which
had a
was
ball.
wonderful. It's crisp, it's clean, and it allows you to know that this is something when you don't feel you need. It's nothing like having a little self-care to be catered to, accommodated, and your staff is lovely.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So, the jump moment. How did this, come, honey? I think I need to open up a business. What was this? Why did this come about?
My husband and I are always looking for ways to expand our portfolio.
I love you too, by the way.
Thank you. It was our 25th wedding anniversary.
I swear, y'all look like y'all just went to the prom.
Yeah.
25 years. 25. Give it up.
And we were trying to figure out our daughters. We have two daughters, Tori and Andrea. They went and got extensions for our vow renewal. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, so what about mom? What am I supposed to do? Oh, mom, we got you a makeup artist they're gonna come to the suite and you're gonna get the makeover. I said, oh, okay. And I'm sitting there and she's doing my makeup and I get up and I look in the mirror and I'm like, I got caterpillars on my eyes right
Jesus,
now. Why
Lord
did
mercy.
I get the caterpillars and you guys got the extensions?
Because we love you. Kids
Yes,
do
we
you.
love you. But I remember how I felt that day. It was different. I normally don't wear a lot of makeup. I'm usually natural looking. So that day, she put those lashes on, and I felt different than I had felt before.
Marcus.
Yeah. And I remember that feeling. And then at the reception, because we did a vow renewal ceremony.
Nice.
And at the reception, I'm looking around the room and I'm noticing a lot of our friends and family are wearing lashes. I said, Ching, this is money. And then we started to talk to different franchises and we landed with Amazing Lash.
Wow. So this is a family, this is a legacy.
It is. I am hoping to pass this to our daughters since they're so interested in lash extensions that they will take it over one day.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's how J.W. Marriott, it was like, this is a hotel room. And now, Hilton, and now look at Paris. So I'm all about the generational wealth.
Yes.
So with this, I thought it was 12 stations. Is it 12?
Yes, we have 12 rooms, 12 suites.
It was so nice.
I'm glad you liked it.
I have to tell you a little bit. It was embarrassing, y'all. I have not been even right now. I think I've had 7 hours of sleep since Wednesday. It just is. Thank you, Jesus. I have what God is allowing me. So I had a lash appointment last night, and I'm laying there, and the lady is rubbing my eyes, and I'm trying to, and I'm still, I had a good meal. And it's nothing like hearing yourself. So I'm laying there, the lady's like, well, this is going to be, and I said, oh, and I tried. And I think it was something like Rihanna playing when I came in. I woke up, the place was dim. It was like some gentle jazz. I felt so embarrassed, y'all. But I woke up, and so I had them. But real quick, what's playing? A little bit about April. What's 3 songs playing in your playlist right now? What do you?
Oh, well, see, I'm old school. So
okay, so
it's gonna be some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay,
And
okay.
then my favorite song is Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
that jam. Did you roller skate? You probably was a
Yes,
skater.
yes,
Okay, so yeah,
yes.
because somebody, when you play those, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, last book you read?
Right now, I'm listening. I do Audible, but I'm listening to The Strangest Secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of times I like to look at former President Obama's list. He puts out his favorite list of books and movies and everything.
Yes.
So one that I'm working on, I haven't finished it, but I'm working on Aftershocks, and that's by Nadia Owusu.
Okay.
It's a really good book, but I'm still working on it.
Okay. So at home, you got someone who's got a wish list of what did you do, how did you do it, and your suggestions.
At home?
Well, they're sitting at home watching and listening to you while she started a business. Wasn't she scared? I mean, the jump. So at this point, how do you feel? Because I think people expect perfection.
They do. But I think my personal story, and I'll give you the abbreviated version. My mom passed away when she was 49 years old.
Wow.
So I didn't get a lot of time with her. And then at that same year, I was pregnant with twins, and we lost one of the twins. That same year, my job at that time decided they no longer needed my services. Then, of course, dealing with grief and anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because me and my mom were like this. Things were not as great between my husband and I. And then you fast forward, so that's years of anger trying to deal with things. You fast forward to my father passing away. One day I was in our bedroom. We were painting. I was painting. I was home alone painting. And my heart started going crazy. I'm on the phone with my cousin, and my heart just started going crazy. I'm like, wait, let me sit down. What is going on? She told me some things to do, and I'm trying to do it, and it's not working. So she was like, April, I think you need to call 911. Well, I wasn't calling 911 because I know what hospital they want to take me to. And I said no. So I called my sister, and I said, you got to get here. She gets me to the hospital, and I can't even remember what my heart rate was by then.
Wow.
But the doctor said, we're going to have to stop your heart and restart it.
Huh?
Yeah. And I looked at her and said, you're going to restart it, right? She said, yes, we are.
When did they start this? Wow.
So there's one nurse on this arm, one nurse on this arm. They put something in. You could feel the flush. It goes up
April.
and flushes right back down. You could feel it. I'm awake for this. They literally stopped my heart while I was awake. That didn't work. So she said, we got it didn't work.
Just be awake, a girl, that didn't work. Hold on. No.
She said, we have to do it again. So they did it again, and it stopped it enough that she felt, let's put her on a slow drip and let's just see what's going on here. So I spent the night in the hospital.
Okay, I have to be nosy. Did you take the injection, girl? Did you take the COVID injection?
No.
Did you have COVID?
No, this was before COVID.
Oh, Jesus. All
Yeah,
right, carry
exactly.
on. Carry on. I was trying to help you.
No, this was pre-COVID.
Wow.
So I'm laying in the hospital bed that night, and I can remember all of a sudden freezing, like I just stopped. And this, I can't even explain it in words what it was, but it just came right in my face. Now, during this time of anger and just grief, I stopped talking to God.
People feel
you did
real
this
bad.
to
Yeah.
me. I'm not talking to you.
People feel so
Yeah.
bad for saying that, but that's human and it's understandable.
That's where I was.
Wow.
That's where I was. And then I can remember just this voice saying, "Are you ready to talk to me now?" I was ready. I was ready.
Yeah, quit playing Jesus. I mean,
Yeah,
I was. You was just meet me at coffee.
I was
Wow.
like, you didn't have to do all this. I had told Craig and them yesterday I was going to talk to you.
It was on my agenda.
It was on my agenda. You didn't have to go this far. So, you know, I spent that night in the bed just talking to him. And it was like that old friend that had just come back into your life. And I remember feeling warm and held and safe. And that was when I got up. That was when I knew I had to get up.
Girl, you just...
And the one thing I remember feeling was, although I was parentless, I had never, since I lost my mother, felt motherless. And when I lost my father, years past, I realized I had never felt fatherless.
Yeah.
So he's not going to leave me.
No.
No matter what I'm going through. I never one time felt motherless or fatherless.
Wow.
And I'm parentless. But my mom does this weird thing. There was ointment that we would put on her body to keep her from getting bed sores. And all of a sudden, I'll get a whiff of it. And I'll say, "Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom." My dad is more of a comic. He rings the doorbell.
Wow. And you know, people, and I get so ticked off with that. When you have something that is out of the spectrum of normality, what is normal, first of all? But when you say that, it's something, girl, I don't believe in that. Next you'll be trick-or-treat. Shut your tail up. People do come and see you.
Yes.
People do say, you know, so that's amazing. And just a reminder.
Yeah.
So has she gone?
Now I start my day when my eyes pop open, gratitude. Straight gratitude. Spend time with God. I don't look at my phone. I don't worry about it. I even look in the mirror and say, today, you are going to mind your business.
Look, I need to say that, girl. Kim, focus. Don't get in nobody's business.
Right, that's it.
Wow.
You got to protect your energy.
I think what I loved, and this was first meeting you, is trying to reach you and trying to communicate and connect. And when I got here yesterday, and you know, we're texting, but you said, when you reached out, I was at home and I have to spend time with my husband. That is my time to be with him.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
I think you guys called me at like 9 o'clock or something. And
I don't know what time zone Tim is on. Hold on, we're gonna call. Not right now. But yeah,
I don't.
But
that's how I keep things from. I mean, you have to understand. Marriage has, just like with business,
honey,
marriage has its ups and downs.
Yes.
I mean, there were times I was standing over him with a pillow, like, "Why are you still breathing?"
Yeah. Well, that's in the small print of contract.
And I'm sure there were times where he bought me a cup of tea, and I was like,
"Drink it.
You
Just
better not
drink
drink that." So we make it a priority to spend time with each other. That phone, everything else can wait. Everything else can wait.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my time to be wife, to be mothered with the girls.
Come on now.
Everything else can wait.
Wow. So, entrepreneur, mom, wife, what 5 years from now? What is April Nickens?
April Nickens is on her own island.
You just better go on. Yeah, thank you.
That's on my bucket list. I want to buy my own island.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thus you will.
Yes.
So the Alexandria location, Monday through Friday?
Monday through Saturday, we're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Sundays, we're open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh, you're open on Sundays?
Yes, with 7 days a week.
Okay, so we can get beautiful anytime.
Every day.
Okay.
Is a day to be beautiful.
Ooh, I'm gonna write that down. I'm sorry if you see that on a T-shirt. Do not sue me. No, I'm just playing. So tonight you brought what? This is my Oprah moment. So tonight in the audience, we have what? Gift bags.
We just have a few.
Yes.
For the ladies.
Okay. Who wants a bag? You get a bag, and you get. I can't do that. She already did. Who want? Okay. Wow. Well, I cannot thank you enough because. Yes, you talk about businesses. Yes, everyone has talked about dreams, but you last two have spoke about pain.
Yeah.
And pain is the purpose. Passion is the purpose. So I am thank you so much for stopping by. So yes, everybody, all of our family, give our cousin April Nickens a hug.
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts, doubleheaders, playoffs, touchdowns, smackdowns, on the mat or on the track. The spirit of a champion. The triple-double. Make that double front flip. This is what we do.
When God allows you to cross people's paths, I just thank him in advance for everyone that he is aligning me with. I'm a broken little girl that had big, big dreams. And I learned through the ups and downs that sparkled, shattered glass sparkles brighter than crystal. When it's on the ground and it hits the sun, it sparkles brighter. So when people God aligns me, it sometimes just gives me confirmation that some days I'm like, if this don't work, I'm going to sell Avon Thursday. And it's just, he just keeps making a way. So as I say, Tim all types of night, and, he'll call me when we were building this, and he says, God's going to just bring some people, and then, I just want you to be obedient and just get ready. And so he called me one night, and he says, I got a lady that you just have to meet. She's just, you'll see why. And I'm saying, okay. And he says, her name is Dr. Rhonda Cotton. And I'm like, okay. And I got to talking to this lady. And I'm, talking. And in the midst, the conversation turned. And she started ministering to me. And things that she was saying, as a comic, where, we got to make everybody feel good. And this woman who didn't even know me started making me feel good. And I get off the phone and I'm like, yeah, let me see, Rhonda Cotton. And I'm like, oh, oh. So as humble as this woman is, vessel of God as she is, Dr. Rhonda Cotton is an amazing woman in writing. She's an author in productions, movies. She's done some of the finest things with BET. The speaking, the philanthropy, the community service. So I just want you to love and meet this lady that I was blessed to meet. So without any further ado, family, we're just going to scoot on over, and our cousins coming up. Give it up for Dr. Rhonda Cotton. Yes. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Hi, my angel. How you doing? Yes. Yes. Come in and have a seat. Whew, you have blessed me tremendously, and I don't think that this is by accident nor a one-time thing.
No, nothing's by accident.
Yes.
It's always a setup.
Yes.
Always a setup.
Yes. So in speaking to you, author, was it 6 books, 5 books?
5 books.
Yes.
I start my career, so just so you all know, my background is in fashion and entertainment. I've also been in hospitality for about 30 years, but I've been in entertainment and fashion for over 35 years. I started out as the first child model for Hallmark Cards, and then I went across the world and lived in Europe to do the actual everything that they do, Fashion Week. That was my life.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then, God redirects you because he has other things. So I ended up being a mother. I experienced the same thing she did, having twins, losing one, and then had another one, which I said, God said, no, not yet. You know, I need you to have one more. So I got my bonus baby. He's actually in South Korea. He's in the Army. But my whole life has been just trying to pay attention to God and what he's saying. And so he says childlike faith. He had to remind me of that in 2019 when I had a nervous breakdown because I had lost 9 family members in 2018. Not because of somebody else taking their life, but it was their time to go, natural causes. And when you have natural causes, you can't question if it is or is not their time. You know it's their time. They've come and done what they need to do. They've served God, and hopefully they've dropped some nuggets and been able to bless other people along the way. And because of them, things come together, brings people together. But in 2019, I had a nervous breakdown driving back from a service that we were honoring my director at our church, honoring his wife who had passed away. I think when you are growing up, family is who they are. That's who God chose them to be. So you got to just roll with it, good, bad, and different. But one of the things I like to do is tell people, take whatever was not good and act as if it was good. Because the seed it planted inside of you allows you to understand what you don't want to deal with, what you don't want to go through, but be able to be appreciative and grateful that you were able to go through and come out of it. And sometimes we take all the bad stuff and leave it as the bad stuff and never realize that it just may be the fruit that God used to help you propel to where you're going. Yeah.
So 2020, so 2019, so what is the get up?
The get up was that in 2019, after I had the nervous breakdown and I went through a period, I actually took a leave of absence. And the Holy Spirit told me that I'm going to give you back what I promised you. So for me, it's like, well, what are you talking about? Because I'm old now. And he reminded me my childlike faith, my prayers at the age of 7. And so when he started reminding me of that, it took me back to 2010 when I cried every day. I cried every day because I was going through something, and I was like, Daddy, am I about to go? Like, is it my time? Is it up? Because I could not understand why I was having to go through all of this pain. My sister's there covering me and praying with me and comforting me, her children, my brother-in-law. And I'm like, what in the world is going down? Like, why are we doing this? And then finally he said, you don't get to have a second chance. I called you to do something. And that's the year I had to answer my call. Whatever my gifts and talents was, I had to answer it. So fast forward to 2019, when he says what he says, is remind me, we don't get to always negate what he's already told us to do. We can keep running. Your run is getting you nowhere because you're getting tired, and he's lasting.
Yeah. Are you there yet? Are you ready?
Yeah, he's lasting.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. So my books came about was because during those seasons of famine, seasons of God trying to show me the point of it all, seasons of when Satan was trying to have his hands on me so he thought he had me. And then it came to her perspective of a true man, because it was what women need to understand about who they are, but also understanding about the man of God that they're trying to get. So
each title was the walk.
It's a purpose, and it's a walk. But we don't always know that because we're always sometimes focusing always on the things that are negative instead of not realizing some of those gifts come out of our pain.
People don't believe, if oh no, that's the enemy. No, God can stir up some stuff too. No, taking that's just Satan business. No, not sometimes.
No, the reality is this: we don't like everything. That's like my oldest son. Sometimes I just want to chop him in the throat.
Yeah.
But the pain that he may cause me is actually pain that I need to understand some things. Because it's not just my children that I have to minister to. I'm ministering to other people's children. I'm ministering to other people that are going through things. So what I learned is whatever I'm going through is not for me. It ain't even about me. I might have to be the vessel to deal with it and endure, but it is not about me. And when you can change your mindset and realize that no matter what you go through in life, that is not about you, that you take that and you use it. So the other day I was talking to Tim again, and me and him were talking. I was explaining to him about the dot. I don't know if any of you understand the dot. So the dot is this. If you actually think about the event that happened and occurred in your lifetime, whether it be your childhood or you growing up, there is something that made you stop at the age of when your first trauma happened. People don't realize we never grow up until we address the dot. So when you got adults acting like they got a tantrum and they got an attitude because you told them they couldn't have the balloon, it's a dot. So how do we address the dot? We got to go all the way back, figure it out, ask God to give us clarity so that whatever that dot is, we can address it, and then it helps us grow up from that person. So if it happens at 7, you still 7, even though you're 102. You still 7. If it happens at 15, you still 15 when you get 95. Because you never addressed and nobody helped you address the dot. Nobody recognized that you being off the chain has nothing to do with what you really sitting here acting like it's about. It's about things that are a lot deeper. And for those of us that are way over the age of 50, we already know that there were lots of secrets in our family history that we didn't find out, they didn't talk about, and they always talk about, oh, the skeleton in the closet. Well, I need to know who the skeleton is. So let me go open the closet. Because I needed to come out. That's going to help me on my journey to understand who I am as a woman, as a mother, as a daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter. So, you know, it's a lot of things that, you know, my jump, my purpose, all of that stuff is the reason why. And these are things that, you know, propelled me to where I am.
Are you selfish with you? And what I mean, because everybody wants access. And a lot of times, everyone feels entitled to access. So projects. Rhonda, can you do this? Hey, do you say things have to speak to you? Do you go in prayer before even, anybody that wants to collaborate with you, anybody that wants you, hey, I like this about you. Are there some things that you say, hey, I just really, as much as I'd like to, this doesn't, not even say jive or vibe with me, but do you turn?
I do, because what I learned is, so one thing my dad says, if you have a job, when you're interviewing for another job, they'll most than likely give you the job because you already have one, so they realize you work, okay? The other thing is, for me, he always would tell me, when you're interviewing for the job, interview them. You need to make sure you're just as much as a great fit as they're trying to make sure you're a great fit for them. So have questions. Do things that's out the normal. Don't be ordinary, be extraordinary, because that's when people see who you are for real. Take your mask off and stop hiding behind the mask because you don't want the no. The no is probably the biggest gift somebody could ever give you.
Rejection.
Because it keeps you from going where you don't need to be. So I learned these things growing up. So I do pray. Every job I've had, I told the Lord, now, I'm not an interviewer. I don't like going and just talking to people. I ain't got time to be spending time with nobody that ain't really interested. So I only need you to send me where you want me to go. Every time he has sent me where he wanted me to go. I have never been in a place where he didn't want me. I had one job that I had to turn down. I got it, and it was down at Duke University Hospital.
Wow.
I was going down there to be a director. And the Holy Spirit said no. So when he said no, I'm like, but I done went through all the interviews. I done did everything and flying back and forth, I'm ready to go. But when he said no, I wasn't crazy enough to go without knowing that there would be consequences if I was disobedient. So even though my feelings was hurt, my flesh was mad as all get out. But my spirit man said, you made the best decision you ever could make, because if you would have went, it would have cost you something. Sometimes we don't realize we do things and it costs us, and we're trying to figure out, why are we having to keep going through this? If you don't realize that if you having a